Okay, welcome to Weekday Somatics. Pretty excited because I have an idea of what we're gonna do. um, if we actually do what I have in mind, then you'll be able to do it seated or lying on your back. I can't say that one will be better than the other, but I'm going to do it sitting. And if you're comfortable sitting, then try it sitting, because then we'll be doing something similar, more similar rather than less similar. Um, so find a posture that you think that you might be able to realistically inhabit for the next 30 minutes without strain. That's the real inquiry. I mean, that's like the main thing. The rest of it is icing on the cake. It's, from my perspective, it's really the awareness that we can cultivate so that we can know, let's say, know ourselves better. We can know our habits, know our reactions, know our idea of our limitations. And then we can play, I like that word, we can play with what I call the edge. Maybe edge has too harsh of a connotation. I'll see if a better word comes. But we're exploring to find that space between the polarities. So I often use the example of the comfort discomfort polarity, but we could apply any polarity there. And we're looking for we're exploring and playing in the space between the polarities. So we could say good and bad, effort and non-effort. What I notice is that most of my I don't know about most, but much of my day is occupied with activity, and that I have a lot of conditioned reactivity to the activity. I'm functioning often from the conditioned reactivity, and I can observe and see that that isn't, it's not yielding the results that I like. So I can start to be curious about this space between the polarities, because here I seem to gain clarity about my true nature, the true nature of my so-called experiences. And I perceive many benefits from this. So I just want to take just a moment to briefly comment on those. So kind of, I haven't talked about intention at the beginning of these meetings for a little bit. I just want to set the tone of what is the intention, so that perhaps we can all explore that intention together. So the benefit or benefits that I perceive that come from this kind of exploration, this play, this inquiry of the space between the polarities is that I get clearer on my compulsive reactivity. And I get clearer on the actual nature of all of my habits. I talk about this a lot. Maybe that's good, maybe that's bad, I don't know. But let's take a look again and see how this space between the polarity, the space between comfort and discomfort, where we're not chasing after anything, we're not straining or striving to maintain something, to achieve something, to fix something, but we're just looking with curiosity at our present experience in an open way. I don't know what this experience is. If I'm really exploring this space between the polarities, I'm in a space that's not in that zone of familiarity, which is a mental overlay, mechanical memory, mechanical reactivity. In that mechanical zone, I fling myself into these polarities, good and bad, comfort and discomfort. I'm reacting to, I believe I'm reacting to the polarities, but when I just slow down, as I'm inviting us to do now, and just inhabit this posture and explore, how can I be here without straining or striving, just for the next 20 or 30 minutes? I start to look and I notice directly how it is that I'm making unnecessary effort, how I'm giving energy to habits that direct my attention outward, direct my attention to a conceptual overlay of me and my life and what I need to do and how I'm wrong and how I'm bad and what I need to do to get it right, and how I have all these problems and the problems are caused by all of these reasons. And that's I think for most of us, that's the normal mode of functioning, but it's a painful mode of functioning. So here we're exploring this new possibility, and I'm proposing that the more that we explore this, the benefits include benefits at I don't know what term to use here, so I'll just use a strange word. I'll say in a spiritual sense, it offers us benefits because we're no longer blindly trying to find ourselves spiritually. We're no longer needing to do that because we're just, in this moment at least, because we're just looking at what's actually happening. Rather than trying to find myself, rather than seeking, I can just be present to the actual experience that's here. Another benefit is physically, I become aware of how it is that I habitually tense and armor the body, the soft tissue. So I start to discover greater ease. If I'm really genuinely looking and I'm not attempting to endure something, if I'm really exploring this space, the edge, the non polarity that is within the polarity, then I am releasing the habits of unnecessary effort in the body, and I come into alignment, to rest in that alignment, so that the structure of the physical body supports the body rather than me, whatever that is, trying, straining to get it right, to hold myself together, to hold myself upright. In my relationships with others, there are benefits because I can start to see in the moment, in my relationships with others, what is actually happening. It becomes clearer. I can see the habits of indulging, the mental overlay, the projection, drawing from mechanical memory to tell me how I'm under attack and I need to defend myself and I need to be right and I need to be seen and I need to be whatever. And I can start to see in the moment how all of that is completely unnecessary and I can just let it all go. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. There's no benefit to be had. No benefit whatsoever. It's so the strategies that I have employed are so completely indirect and so completely dysfunctional and wrong-minded that they cannot possibly work. What I want is peace. Arguing for how I'm right cannot get me that. There's no possibility of it. When I see the insanity of my conditioned reactivity, the impulses to be right, to be seen, to be heard, to be respected, to be successful, to have power, to protect myself from anything, from financial loss, from physical illness. All of these are wrong-minded and cannot possibly get me what I want. So instead, I find that this kind of inquiry offers me the possibility of seeing, recognizing, and choosing the direct experience of stillness, which is what I want. I don't need to go anywhere for that. I don't need to do anything. There's no intermediate step required. Nothing in between. There's just this. I can just choose this now. I can just choose to be present. For me, this touches all aspects of my life. Okay. So let's bring, if possible, if comfortable, if appropriate, I'd like to explore the relationship between the jaw, the skull, the neck, and the shoulders. I I think you're going to like this. So as we do this, see that it's possible to continue to remain aware of the entire body and to allow the entire body to be restful, aligned with the support, so that the structure, the bones, the skeletal structure of the body is handling the load, so that there's not any need for unnecessary strain. I don't need to work hard in my back or in my abdomen or chest to keep myself comfortably, restfully here. Okay, so while we're maintaining that awareness, that gentle awareness of the stillness that's possible without restraint, just to rest in that stillness in the physical body, let's, if comfortable and appropriate, bring the left hand to the jaw, to the side of the jaw, left side of the jaw. And with that hand, not pushing hard, but just with a gentle yet firm touch on the jaw, let's explore gently opening and closing the jaw, maintaining that same gentle pressure with the hand. So I'll say a few things about this. I can't do it at the same time I'm talking about it, but you may notice well, hold on a second, because I was looking at myself in the camera image, and that yeah, so just allow for the jaw to become looser, so that the jaw is not resisting the hand. And then when the jaw is next open, just allow it to remain open, keeping the hand where it is. And notice the space that you can be aware of on the inside of the mouth. And in the throat, can you allow the throat to release? Notice what's happening in the shoulder. So if you find that the shoulder is straining, see that you can soften and release that. And if not, then remember not to strain. So you are welcome to take a rest anytime you need. Now, continuing to keep the jaw open with the hand on the jaw as it's been, see if you can, by the way, But see that you can. See that it's possible in your actual experience. Find this out for yourself. That you can allow the jaw to remain restful, non-resistant, passive. You can allow the space inside the mouth and throat all the way to the ear, the tongue. You can allow that to all remain open, spacious, relaxed as you slowly begin to turn the head to the right. Only turn the head as far to the right and as quickly as you are able to maintain that same softness and open quality. So if you start to notice any unnecessary movement in the jaw, if the relationship between the jaw and the skull changes so that the jaw shifts to the left or twitches or closes or whatever it does, or if the throat starts to close up, or if the tongue starts to move, then just pause, slow it down, soften. See then if you can turn a little bit more while maintaining that softness and openness. And then continuing to maintain that softness and openness so that the jaw is completely yielding. The jaw is making no effort at all. Turn the head back to center. So let's repeat that several times. So we're going to, at your own pace, keep the jaw soft and yielding. The hand remains on the side of the jaw. Just a gentle pressure, keeping that same kind of awareness of the jaw and the relationship between the jaw and the skull. As you slowly turn the head to the right and then to center, back and forth at your own pace, only as you are able to do so while maintaining that same softness, non-effort in the jaw. Allow the space inside the mouth and throat to remain soft and open. And if you are able to do so, here's another thing you can do. If you find this distracting, don't do it. But if you're able to find with your thumb, so the way I do it is I keep the fingers on the side of my left hand on the side of the jaw, and then I take my thumb of the left hand and I place it on the side of the neck. And you may or may not be able to identify by touch a fairly sizable muscle there that runs from the back of the ear on the skull, down the side of the neck, around to the front where it attaches to the collarbone. So if you can allow your thumb to rest there, that can also be very clarifying. So allow for And maybe you find, maybe you can identify that muscle or maybe not. It doesn't really matter, but allow, if you're touching there, allow that side, the left side of the neck, to become softer and softer and more yielding. So you're not pushing hard. It's just a gentle touch just to help you become more consciously aware. If that's too much, don't do it. Just keep the hand on the side of the jaw as you're turning the head. But if you can do that, it can be really clarifying. So you may start to get clearer on what is the jaw and what is the neck and what is the skull. Here's an interesting thing, question to consider. And again, if this is too much, don't consider it. But if if it's okay for you to do so, you could consider where can you sense where the neck and the jaw and the skull all come together? Can you feel that? Can you get clearer on that with this movement? Now, you're welcome to, if you would like, you can certainly play with moving the fingers a little bit so that they don't have to rest in exactly the same place. I would recommend that you keep them in one location for a moment as you're exploring, but you could move them a bit around to see if that clarifies anything. So maybe further down the jawline or further up the jawline, however you understand that. Remember to rest whenever you need. Now, if it's appropriate for you to do so, then when your head is next turned to the right, pause here for a moment. Allow the jaw to remain relaxed. Allow the side of the neck to remain soft. Perhaps you can be aware of that all the way down into the left shoulder. Let the shoulder be soft, heavy. And keeping the jaw soft so that you're not pushing it to the left. You're just allowing it to remain yielding to the gentle pressure of the hand. See that you can open and close the jaw. So the jaw can move up and down without moving side to side. And when the jaw opens, pause and see that you can become increasingly aware of the space inside the mouth and the throat. And whatever release or softness you discover, see that you can maintain that softness and release as you slowly and gently close the jaw. Now, keep the head to the right and slowly lower your hand to your lap, or however is most restful for you. Maintaining the same softness in the head, neck, and shoulder. Slowly turn the head to center. And then open and close the jaw a few times slowly with the head at center. Perhaps you notice more space inside the jaw and throat. Maybe you notice a heaviness to the jaw that you weren't previously aware of. Maybe you have a clearer sense of it. Let's take a few moments to mirror that on the other side. So let's bring the right hand to the right jaw, the right side of the jaw. And with that, just a very gentle pressure of just the hand really kind of resting, just the weight of the hand on the jaw. Open and close the jaw a few times, allowing the jaw to become softer and more yielding. And whatever release or softness or space you discover in this, see that you can maintain that. See that, for example, as the jaw opens, I become aware of more space in the throat. The throat releases a little bit. Then I want to continue to remain aware of that space and that release as I slowly close the jaw, so that I'm becoming more intimately familiar with how to open and close the jaw and the unnecessary effort that I've habitually made. I don't need to clench the throat to open and close the jaw. Through this exploration, I can discover that directly. It's not an intellectual exercise, it's an actual remapping, so that it's an embodied realization. Now, when the jaw is next open, keeping the hand on the side of the jaw and maintaining the same softness and spaciousness inside the mouth, allowing the jaw to remain yielding, so there's no effort whatsoever being made in the jaw. Slowly turn the head to the left. Do so as smoothly and slowly as possible, allowing for the jaw to remain soft and yielding, so that you're not making any unnecessary effort, resistance in the jaw. Shouldn't be pushing to the right with the jaw, not resisting the hand, just allowing the hand to gently press the jaw to the left. And then maintaining awareness of whatever additional softness or spaciousness you've discovered in turning the head to the left, keeping the hand where it is, maintain that softness and openness as you slowly turn the head to the right, or rather back to center. And let's repeat that a few more times at your own pace, slowly turning the head to the left and then to center, while maintaining the softness and whatever increased softness, release, openness you discover in this movement, remain aware of that. So don't allow the mechanical habit to override the release into effortlessness that you discover. Allow for that discovery of effortlessness, of softness, expansion, release, support, alignment. Allow that to be your anchor so that you remain with that. Don't introduce any unnecessary habits. So slowly turning to the left. Slowly back to center. And when you're next back to center, you can release the hand down, allow your arms and hands to just rest. And let's just sit here for a moment and allow ourselves to be aware of this experience as it is. Observe any habits of trying to adjust or fix or correct or get it right. Notice if you have habits of consulting your images, your mappings, to tell you if you're getting it right, to tell you if you're upright, aligned, balanced. And just notice that rather than indulging those habits, rather than getting invested in it, just observe that. Be willing to just be as you are in this moment. So maybe you have an idea that you're tilted or leaning or not facing forward or hunched over or whatever that idea might be. Just allow that idea to come and go and just rest here and observe for any unnecessary strain. Let that be the guide rather than the mental mappings, the images and so forth, the ideas, the habits. Just tune into, is there any unnecessary effort? Is there any strain? Forget about whether what you're doing is right. Just notice if you're making any unnecessary effort and see that it's possible to soften that. Don't lose awareness of the spaciousness and the release and the softness and the stillness that you've discovered through this inquiry by indulging mechanical habit. Dare to be open to newness. Dare to be open to what is. Even if that means being wrong. Even if that means being foolish. Even if whatever that means. Just dare to be still, to be yielding. To be gentle. And then let's see that we can continue to allow ourselves to rest in that gentleness, even as we transition from the formal inquiry into whatever follows that. So if your eyes are closed, then begin to slowly explore opening them and see that it is possible to open the eyes evenly and smoothly so that the left and right eyelids are opening with equal ease and at an equal rate. Take your time with that. I'm going to end the recording momentarily. For those who are here live, we'll stay on for the Q&A. For anybody who's watching the recording, thanks for joining. Bye for now.